Mama Abby, I'm not ready to have this baby. Is there any way you can help me? Mama Abby looked at Nana with kind but serious eyes. My dear, it's too late to get rid of the baby safely. It could be very dangerous for you. Nana's heart sank. She didn't know what to do, but then Mama Abby said something that surprised her. If you don't want the baby, you can sell it after it's born. There are people who would pay a lot of money for a healthy child. Once upon a time in a village far away, there lived a girl named Nana. Nana was very beautiful with a kind heart that made everyone love her. She was always helpful and sweet, making people smile wherever she went. Nana's father was a poor farmer. He worked hard every day in the fields trying to grow enough food for his family. Nana's mother was a trader. She sold little things in the market, doing her best to make sure they had what they needed, even though they didn't have much. Nana's family was happy. They loved each other very much. Nana had a few close friends together. They walked to school every day. Nana was very smart. She always listened to her teachers and studied hard. Because of this, she was always at the top of her class. Every week, the head teacher would smile at Nana and say, "Nana, you are the best in the whole school." Then he would give her a little gift like a shiny pencil or a small L book. Nana felt proud and happy because she knew she was making her parents proud too. The villagers all knew and loved Nana. They would say Nana is a good girl. She's going to do great things one day, and Nana would smile, dreaming of a bright future. As Nana grew older, she reached her final year in school. During this time, she became very close to a girl named Bola. Bola was not as smart as Nana, and she wasn't as pretty either, but she had a way of doing things that were different, sometimes not very good. The other girls in the village noticed this and would say to Nana, "Nana, be careful with Bola. She doesn't always make good choices." But Nana didn't listen. She liked Bola and wanted to be her friend. One day Nana went to school with an empty stomach. There was no food at home, and her parents couldn't give her anything to eat. She felt very hungry and sad, but when she arrived at school, she saw Bola carrying 2 plates of food. Bola smiled and said, "Nana, I brought this for you. I made it just for my special friend." Nana was surprised and very thankful. "Thank you so much," she said, and they sat down to eat together. From that day, their friendship grew even stronger. Nana felt grateful to have a friend like Bola who was there for her when she needed it. Even though Bola wasn't the best influence and she sometimes did things that weren't right, Nana continued to do well in school. She still listened to her teachers and studied hard. Nana believed that as long as she stayed true to herself, everything would be okay. After Nana and Bola finished school, they began spending a lot of time together. They would walk through the village, visit the market, and talk about everything. Nana noticed that Bola always had nice clothes, pretty jewelry, and other things that Nana couldn't afford. This made Nana curious. One day Nana asked Bola, "How do you get all these nice things?" Bola smiled and said, "It's from a man named Kelly. He gives me money and buys me gifts." Nana didn't understand. But why would he do that? What do you do for him? Bola looked around to make sure no one was listening. Then she whispered, "I sleep with Kelly, and he gives me money. It's easy, and I get whatever I want." Nana was shocked. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "But what if you get pregnant, Bola? Aren't you scared?" Bola shook her head and laughed. "Don't worry, Nana. I know how to take care of that. I won't get pregnant now. It's nothing to be afraid of." Nana felt confused and worried. She had never thought about doing something like that, but Bola made it sound so simple and so easy. Nana didn't know what to think, but she trusted her friend. Bola seemed so confident, and Nana didn't want to lose her friendship, so she kept quiet and continued to follow Bola's lead even though deep inside she felt something wasn't right. One bright morning Nana was on her way to Bola's house when she met a man named Bakery. Bakery was young and handsome, and he was well known in the village. He was a palm wine tapper, and he owned a big farm where he made the sweetest palm wine anyone had ever tasted. Baker was not only hardworking but also very kind. As they talked, Bakery looked at Nana and smiled. He liked her gentle nature and her beauty. Before they parted ways, Bakery reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Inside was a pair of beautiful earrings. He handed them to Nana and said, "These are for you, Nana. I hope they bring a smile to your face." Nana was surprised and happy. "Thank you, Bakery. They are so beautiful," she said, her eyes shining with gratitude. From that day on, Nana started meeting Bakery. Every day they would talk, laugh, and sometimes walk together to his farm. Bakery always made Nana feel special, and she began to look forward to their time together. As days passed, Nana and Bakery grew closer. One day, in a quiet moment, they ended up sleeping together. Nana felt a mix of emotions. She liked bakery very much, but she also felt unsure about what they had done while this was happening. Nana's parents were busy planning her future. They wanted her to learn a skill that would help her in life. Nana was thrilled the money was more than she had ever imagined. She didn't think about the baby she had just sold, only about the wealth she was accumulating. As Nana looked at her growing pile of gold and jewels, she felt powerful, and she believed she had found the perfect way to get rich and nothing else seemed to matter. She was determined to continue down this path no matter what anyone said. Nana's plan worked even better than she had imagined. She became very rich very quickly each time she got pregnant. Sold the baby and collected more gold coins and jewels. The more babies she sold, the richer she became. Soon Nana was living a life of luxury in Biku village. She had the finest clothes, the most beautiful jewelry, and anything else she wanted. But as Nana's wealth grew, so did Mama Abby's concern. One day Mama Abby sat Nana down and said, "Nana, you must stop selling your babies. They are your future. Your own flesh and blood. You can't keep doing this." But Nana just laughed and waved her hand. "Don't worry, Mama Abby. I have many more children inside me. I'll keep making money this way and nothing will stop me." Nana didn't listen to the warnings. She was too focused on her riches and the easy life she was living. She sent money and gifts back to her parents in her village, who were amazed by how much she had. They didn't know where all this money was coming from, but they were proud of their daughter for doing so well in Biku village. By the time Nana decided to return to her village, she had sold 10 of her babies. Each sale had made her richer and more powerful. She felt on top of the world, believing that nothing could go wrong. With her bags full of gold and jewels, Nana was ready to go back home and show everyone how successful she had been. She didn't think about the baby she had sold or the warnings she had ignored. All she cared about was the wealth she had gathered and the luxurious life she had built for herself. When Nana finally returned to her village, she looked so different that even her own parents didn't recognize her at first. She was dressed in the finest clothes, her skin glowed, and she had expensive jewelry that sparkled in the sunlight. The villagers gathered around, amazed at how beautiful and rich she had become. "Who is this beautiful woman?" they whispered to each other, unable to believe that this was the same Nana who had left them. Bola, Nana's old friend, was the first to recognize her. "Nana, is that really you?" Bola shouted. Running up to her and hugging her tightly, the villagers were astonished. This was Nana, the girl who had left to learn a trade in Biku village. They celebrated her return with joy and admiration. With all the money she had made, Nana built herself a big beautiful house. She didn't stop there. She also rebuilt her parents' house, making it grand and comfortable. Her parents were proud, thinking their daughter had done so well in life. Nana lived alone in her grand house, surrounded by all the wealth she had gathered from selling her babies. She enjoyed the luxury and comfort the money brought her, and she didn't have to worry about anything. The men in the village were captivated by her beauty and success. Many of them asked her to marry them, thinking they could share in her wealth and happiness, but Nana always said no. "I don't need a husband," she would say with a smile. She was content with her riches and didn't see any reason to get married. Nana believed that she had everything she needed. She was rich, beautiful, and admired by everyone in the village. To her, life seemed perfect, and she didn't think about the cost of her wealth or the future that might lie ahead. As time went on, Nana's parents began to worry about her. They saw that she was rich and successful, but she wasn't married in their hearts. They believed that having a husband and children would bring true joy and happiness in Nana's life. One day her mother gently said, "Nana, you have everything, but you are alone. It's important to have a husband and children to complete your happiness." Nana thought about what her mother said. Although she had always been happy with her riches, she began to wonder if something was missing. Maybe her parents were right. Soon after, Nana met a man named Samuel. Samuel was also rich and came from a well-respected family in the village. He was kind and handsome and seemed to care deeply for Nana. They spent time together, and before long Samuel proposed to Nana. She agreed, thinking that marriage would finally make her life complete. The wedding was a grand affair with the whole village invited. There was music, dancing, and feasting, and everyone talked about how beautiful the couple looked together. Nana felt happy and hopeful as she started this new chapter in her life, but as the months turned into years, something troubled Nana. 2 years had passed and she still hadn't gotten pregnant. Samuel's mother, who was eager for grandchildren, began to pressure Nana and would often say, "Why haven't you given us a child yet, Nana? A wife's duty is to bring children into the family." Nana tried to stay hopeful, but the pressure kept growing. One day, Samuel's mother could no longer hide her frustration. Stormed into their home and shouted, "Nana, you are barren. You can't stay in this house any longer. My son needs a wife who can give him children." Nana was heartbroken. She loved Samuel and didn't want to leave, but his mother's words were final. With tears in her eyes, Nana packed her belongings and left Samuel's house. She returned to her own home feeling empty and alone. The marriage that she thought would bring her happiness had ended in sorrow. Nana realized that all the riches in the world couldn't fill the void left by her inability to have a child. As she sat in her grand house surrounded by the wealth she had accumulated, Nana felt a deep sadness. She had everything she thought she wanted, but now she was more alone than ever after being sent away by Samuel's mother. Nana tried to rebuild her life. She hoped to get married again, thinking that maybe, just maybe, she could find happiness with another man. But no matter how hard she tried, no man wanted to stay with her because she couldn't have children. Word spread quickly in the village, and people began to see Nana differently. They whispered behind her back, and the suitors who once flocked to her now stayed away. One day, out of the blue, Bakari, the very first man who had denied her when she was pregnant, came to her house. He looked head serious and demanded, "Nana, where is my child, the child you were carrying when you left the village?" Nana's heart raced. She didn't want to admit what she had done, so she lied. "I lost the baby, Bakari. I had a miscarriage." Bakari looked at her, his eyes filled with doubt, but he left without another word. Just when Nana thought the worst was over, 2 more men came knocking at her door on different days, each asking the same question, "Where is my child, Nana?" To both men she gave the same answer: "I lost the baby, I had a miscarriage." But Nana's lies didn't stay hidden for long. A villager who had been listening in on one of the conversations overheard everything. This villager knew the truth about what Nana had been doing in Biku village. Without hesitation, he told the men, "Nana didn't lose your babies. She sold them. She's been selling her children to get rich." The men were shocked and furious. News spread like wildfire through the village. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. The men who had come to Nana, now knowing the truth, were filled with rage. They returned to her house, this time with a crowd of angry villagers behind them. "Give us back our children, Nana," they demanded, their voices loud and threatening. "If you don't, we'll burn down your house." Nana stood frozen, fear gripping her heart. The wealth she had gathered, the life she had built, all of it was crumbling around her. The villagers who once admired her now looked at her with disgust and anger. Nana realized that her actions had finally caught up with her, and the consequences were more terrible than she had ever imagined. With her heart heavy and her mind full of fear, Nana knew she had had no choice but to try to find the children she had sold. She traveled back to Biku village, desperate to undo the wrong she had done. When she arrived, went straight to Mama Abby's house, hoping the midwife could help her. Mama Abby, seeing the sorrow in Nana's eyes, sighed deeply. "Nana, I warned you not to take this path. Now you must face the consequences of your actions now. Please, Mama Abia, help me find the children. I need to bring them back, or the villagers will destroy everything I have." Mama Abby handed her a piece of paper with the addresses of the people who had bought the babies. "These are the people who took your children, but be warned, Nana, they may not be willing to return them, and once you leave, don't come back here again." Nana nodded and took the paper. Heart pounding, she traveled far and wide, knocking on doors, pleading with the people who had bought her children, but her efforts were in vain. Some of the people denied ever knowing her, while others refused to return the children, saying they were now part of their families. Each rejection cut deep into Nana's soul, and she felt the weight of her choices crushing her spirit. After many fruitless attempts, Nana returned to her village in shame. The villagers were waiting for her, anger still burning. They didn't care about the gold and jewels she had once flaunted to them. Nana was no longer a symbol of success, but a reminder of greed and betrayal. Her parents were devastated by the news. They couldn't believe what their daughter had done. They regretted sending her away without checking on her and not teaching her the dangers of loving money too much. The weight of the shame was too much for Nana's mother to bear, and she passed away, leaving Nana feeling even more alone and broken. In a final act of repentance, Nana gave away all her money and her house, but the villagers rejected her offerings, not wanting anything that came from such a dark place. Determined to make amends in any way she could, Nana sold everything and gave the money to the less fortunate. Then, with just a small bag, she left the village, carrying nothing but her sorrow and regret. Nana settled at the entrance of the village, far from the life of luxury she once knew. She lived alone, spending her days in quiet reflection, haunted by the memories of the children she had sold and the life she could have had. She found some peace within herself. The loneliness never left her. She realized too late the terrible mistakes she had made, and Nana's story became a lesson for all the children in the village. Parents would tell their children, "Remember Nana, who traded her future for gold. She had everything, but lost it all because she couldn't see what truly mattered." Nana leads the rest of her life in solitude, her heart full of regret, and as she sat by the entrance of the village, she hoped that her story would help others avoid the path she had taken. She learned that true wealth wasn't in gold or jewels, but in the love and life she had once taken for granted. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, comment you learned from the tale, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more enchanting tales just like this one. Thank you.